All right, Jeff Ross here from Tasmania, Australia. If you don't know who I am, welcome. I'm one of the corporate trainers here. I'm the Vice President of Field Development and Growth for our affiliate company called Freedom Pro. And I'm one of the team leaders here for the Aurum run with you today. And it's my absolute pleasure to meet you. And I can't wait to actually meet you in person at one of our many events. You know, who's heard about this event that's coming up in Miami in April? Pretty exciting, right? Josh has dropped the bomb a couple of times there on that one. And yes, you know, we're giving away a few tickets to this amazing event. And I just heard from Josh, I can't mention names, but he's just secured one of the world's biggest influencers that has millions of followers around the world to come speak to us at this amazing event. So I highly, highly encourage you to do whatever you got to do to go earn yourself a ticket to be at Miami. What are you going to do to qualify? You either need to be, what was it? Does anybody remember the ranks that we had to qualify for? Now, I can't remember off the top of my head of the dates, but it was towards the end of mid-February. You needed to be Nexus. And if you can't make Nexus by that time, it's okay. We're going to give you a few more weeks to go and make Oracle by the end of March. So I am this close to hitting Oracle because of your amazing effort as a collective, as a team. And we're going to talk about that with the team building strategy and how we're running this from the team down. But first, I want to jump into something that I know that's been hitting my inbox left, right, and center. And I want to talk to the newbie affiliate marketer. I want to help coach the person that's struggling to get a few people on board here, because it's always my heart to be able to create leaders who create other leaders who create other leaders. And so, you know, if you're a leader here already and you're already crushing at the game, welcome. We need you. Thank you very much for the effort and the service that you bring to the table. And my heart to your heart is, let's just open up our mind. Let's not close off now, because you might have heard some of this training already before. But I know if we keep our mind open like a sponge, we always learn something new, right? Doesn't matter how many times you hear it. It could be the 1% nugget that helps you to go to the next level. You know, Fraser Brooks liked to talk, teach about, every time that you plug into a training just like this, to an event, to an opportunity call, to, a virtual event or a local event, you're getting a new piece of the puzzle. And it's our job as leaders, as affiliate marketers, as people who are on this journey growing together, to collect as many pieces of this puzzle together. So when we get this piece, we get this piece, we get that piece. And then all of a sudden you've plugged into 1,000 of these calls, 10,000 of these events, and you've got a 10,000 piece puzzle put together. This is how leaders win. You know, all the leaders do in this space, the masters in this game, they've just learned how to master the basics and do them bigger, better, and faster. So one of the basic skills, and this is a skill, anybody can learn this, that I want to talk into today, is objection handling. You know, questions that will help you to convert people into smart duplication, smart systems. And because when I say it, it doesn't really land. But when they say it, they take ownership of it all. And they take on and they go and convince themselves. We're not here to convince anybody to do anything. But you better bloody believe it. It is our job. It is our responsibility to lead that horse to water, to give that horse every opportunity to drink that water, even if we know that horse doesn't drink and it knows itself that it's going to drop dead in the next 24 hours if it doesn't take a sip of the water. Our job is not to force the horse to drink the water. Our job is to give it the opportunity to drink the water. It's an invitation. It's here you go. But if you don't drink it, you're going to drop dead. That's your choice. You know, and I'm using these metaphors in very harsh language just here to create a context here, a pre-frame to help us to be responsible to, not responsible for. All right, so tonight's training, it's not about hype. This is all about skill. This is all about leadership. This is all about learning to become better communicators. Because that's all it is if you sucked at it like I did at this game, then you just got to learn to master the art of communication. Because the truth is, if you can't lead conversations, you can't lead teams. And I land that very bluntly. Because if you want to really master this game, you need to learn how to lead conversations. You need to learn how to become the leader that you wish that you had. Yeah, I'm using that word become quite a lot, right? Because if you want the life that others have and you're striving towards it, well, you've got to be it. You've got to become it. And you've got to earn your stripes, essentially. To learn how to ride a horse, I was taught not to get bucked off, not to stay on, not to get bucked off. In that space, actually, I was taught to fall off, and I was taught to fall off gracefully, but also to get back on the horse. The old bushman who taught me how to ride, he said, Jeff, you've got to learn how to fall off 1,000 times so you learn how to stay on, right? This is very much the same thing. So embrace the suck. Everything is figure outable. Most people don't fail because the opportunity is bad. They fail because they don't know how to communicate with posture, with belief, with confidence. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to handle objections without arguing, how to use questions instead of pressure, and how to build smarter instead of using smarter and using systems instead of burning out. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're ready for this conversation today, because I know these are one of the fundamental skills that I had to learn how to master to really help me to get up and run with this race. So drop a 1 in the comments, even if you're a master at this game, that you still believe that there is something to learn when we can go learn from other masters. Because let me reframe something that's very important. When someone gives you an objection, it's not a no. It's just a no right now. It's just information. I think of the Wright brothers example here in this conversation. If the Wright brothers, gave up on their first attempt at failing to get flight as we know it today, we wouldn't have the world that we have. If Thomas Edison gave up on the 10th iteration of the light bulb because he couldn't get it right after 10 times, how many times did it take him to get it right? We wouldn't have the world like we have it today. No's and not, and making mistakes, it's just information. It's feedback. It doesn't mean anything else other than that. It usually means one of these 3 things in the context of objection handling. They don't understand yet, they don't trust yet, and they don't feel safe yet. You see, it's our job to be communicators in a way that makes people feel seen, heard, valued, known, trusted, and belonging. You see, it's not our job to convince anybody to go do what we do. Our job is purely one thing. Our responsibility is to lead with clarity. Pressure creates resistance, right? I know as soon as the moment you start to defend yourself, you've already lost the argument. But see, here's the thing: when we can flip it on its head, we can get genuinely curious, and questions create movement. Questions are the answers. It's a brilliant book. It changed the game for me. Go read it. It's by Alan Pease. Please without the L. So Alan Pease. A lot of the principles that I'm teaching you right now are found in that book. But here's the thing, right? If you push people, they push back. Have you ever seen a toddler? That you say, no, he can't do it. And you see that toddler have his toddler tantrums and it pushes back in defiance. It's human nature. We do it as children, we do it as adults as well. But here's the thing. If you learn to ask good questions, people open up. Because people don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. This whole conversation, it can be summed up with one word: leadership. See, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, as John Maxwell likes to talk about, right? So let's move into questions are the answers. So the principle here from this whole training is this is all about communication psychology. Whoever asks the best questions controls the flow of the conversation. See, statements will create arguments. But questions, you ever noticed it? It creates engagement. It creates a conversation. And your conversions are on the back of a conversation. So I want you to stop pitching. I really want you to stop trying to be the salesman in the room. Really great salespeople, have learned how to build rapport, how to build trust fast, and how to ask qualifying questions so they can invite people to explore it for themselves and start leading people in the way. See, this is all about leadership. It's all about guiding people on the journey. So let's start learning to ask better questions. Let's start leading conversations. You know, because here's the thing, right? When you ask great questions, what it does is it positions you as like a detective. It positions you as like a guide on the journey. Because, as I said, people don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. The best way I've found to show people that you genuinely care is through asking great questions. What are the type of questions that we want to ask? Discovery-based questions, open-based questions. When I talk to someone, I don't start with the product. I start with the people. A lot of my marketing is designed to bring people into and start conversations. And a lot of my marketing is designed to get people to respond with a yes, me, because I've already built a lot of trust with them. So if you're looking at someone who's mastered the attraction marketing game and wondering why it's not working for you, because I'd better say I learned from my own mistakes here. It's because you're always pitching, you're always selling, you're always promoting, and we're not slowing it down to meet people where they're at, and we're not meeting people in heart-to-heart conversations, in human-to-human interactions to focus on building trust. So when you do drop the right product in front of the right people at the right time, the trust is already established, and they put their hand up and say, yes, me. You know, so when I'm in discovery mode in a conversation, here's what I genuinely ask people. I'm curious, would you be open to exploring something new with X, Y, Z? Put in the benefit, put in the outcome, the impact result, right? Would you be open to exploring something that could help you to, compound your money around 10 to 17% per month? See, it's a question. It gets people thinking. It's like, well, yeah, the banks aren't giving me that money. Yeah, I'd be open to exploring that. Another question you could ask too in this discovery mode is, what is the most frustrating thing about your income right now? Oh, the fact that I've got to work 4 jobs just to keep the bills, but keep the roof over my head. So you started a conversation. What if money wasn't the issue? What would change in your life right now? You get people dreaming, you get people future focused, you get people planning, and then always ask why. Like, get genuinely curious, because people don't move for logic, they move for emotion and vision, and we back up and justify things with logic. Read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, and he talks about the golden circle principle here with the buy-in psychology, right? We're all hardwired to look at everything as a threat. Is that a saber-toothed tiger running at me? Is it something that's going to kill me? What do I do? Do I fight or flight or freeze? So when we come across something new, it's overwhelming, our emotions go high, our intelligence goes low conversation, we're automatically in defense mode. So learning to ask genuine questions that shows genuine curiosity brings down those barriers and those walls. And then we move into the emotional context of this conversation. How does this make me feel? How do you feel about it? Does this feel like it could be something that I want to know that's going to help me towards my life's dreams? My hopes and my pleasures? Is this something that's going to help me escape Sucksville and get to Awesome Town? Is this something that's going to take me away from the burden of the pain that I have to try and make sure that there's enough week in the bills so I can pay my bills and I can pay my rent and I can pay my electricity? Is there enough money in the year that I can put some aside, to go travel the world, with my family? So when we can start to focus on questions around this, it positions us as a detective. It positions us as a guide. It positions us in the space where we get to help people move from, the emotional baggage, the burden, the hardships towards their vision for their life. Drop a 1 in the comments if this is landing for you right now. And I'd love to hear from you. Like, what's the light bulb that's going off? Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Robin Jordan. We've got two Robins. Daniela. Really appreciate you all. Like you can see, I get quite passionate about this topic, and I love what we get to do in this space to be of service to you, to be able to help you to unlock your greatness and help you towards having the tools that you need to be empowered, to be equipped, to go fulfill your dream life. Because nobody's going to save you. You can only save yourself, but I can help you. I can empower you. I can teach you how to fish so you can grab the skill sets that you need to go be able to unlock your freedom. Because as Josh likes to say, freedom is calling. All you have to do is go grab it. So let's dive into some clarifying questions. Let's get into like learning how to unlock the real objection, right? Because when people, object to things, as I said to you, they're normally overwhelmed with the information. They don't trust you or trust it or themselves or whatever in that space. And so they automatically just say no. Or they start to give you reasons why they say no. So when someone says, I'm not sure, when someone says, I need to think about it, when someone says, I'm just a bit hesitant, I don't know, Jeff, I don't talk more, I ask questions. So normally I ask when someone says it's just a bit unclear, I go to them and I say, what part feels unclear? How can I help you to see the vision? Is this the time? Is it the time? Is it the money? Is it the risk that concerns you the most? See, I'm looking for the area that they're most afraid of to pinpoint and highlight that, to ask them great questions, to walk them through this and be a guide on the journey to help them to see the light for themselves, to help them to drink the water for themselves. What specifically would you like clarity on is a really powerful question. So if you're getting roadblocks, don't just stop, but don't go in to try and pitch and try and go, oh, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. Been there, done that. All that does is have doors shut in your face, phones hanging up, kicking the balls, no kisses. Would you like more kisses? This is all about relationship building, right? So what this does is it stops you making assumptions. It stops you making judgments. It stops you guessing, and it helps you to start understanding. I want you to hear that. People just want to feel understood. People just want to feel like they know you've got their back. People just want to know that you're not just doing it for yourself, just to sell them, to pitch them something, to build you. People want to know that you're here for them and you're here to build them and you're here to guide them. They want to know that you're going to hold their hand sometimes. They want to know that this is safe. So, when someone says to me, oh, Jeff, I just feel like this is just not the fit for me, I go into what I call feel, felt, found. These are old sales training 101, right? I'm not going to beat around the bush. If people say, you don't need to learn to sell, that's a load of bullshit. You do need to learn how to sell, but you don't want to learn how to manipulate people. You want to learn how to inspire people. You want to learn how to lead people. You want to learn how to guide people. You want to learn how to make people feel safe and help them to come to the promised land themselves, right? That's type of sales. Sign me up for that all day long. I know Latika here is in the real estate game. I'm sure you agree with me, Latika. Right? I'm not in the used car salesman game. I'm not in this place to try and manipulate people to take action, and neither should you be, because that's just where you do get the icky vibes. That is where you do get that, I don't like selling. If you come into this space and say, I don't like selling, well, I say is normally I ask a question around that, and I would probably reframe that, and I would ask, I'm curious, like, what is it about sales that you don't like? And then they'll start describing, the whole process of sales in their worldview. See, what I'm doing here is I'm seeking to understand so they feel understood. And they're going to start saying that they probably don't like sales because they don't like the pressure tactics. They don't like, making their friends feel, icky and all that sort of thing. And I normally say, like, along those lines, and I agree with them in that space. And that's where I go into feel, felt, found. and I'll identify with them and I'll empathize with them in that space, and I'll go, yeah, me too. I used to feel the same way about sales, but what I felt was, sorry, feel, felt, found, right? So I used to feel the same way about sales. And what I felt in this space was it made me feel icky because I come to realize, and I found myself in a position where I didn't realize it, but I now know better that it looks like I was actually manipulating people, not intentionally, unintentionally, but I didn't like the sales pressure tactics of the hard sell because it was coming across as manipulation tactics. Would you agree that that's probably what you don't like? Yeah, Jeff, that's exactly what it is. See what I'm doing here? I'm asking right questions to lead them to the vision here, but I'm also making them feel found, feel understood, empathizing with them, meeting them where they're at so we can connect, relate, and resonate. A lot of people talk about know, like, and trust, right? That's very surface level. Where I want to get to in this whole space, and where you need to get to in this whole space, is to make people feel like they feel heard, known, seen, belonged, loved. And the way that we do that is by finding common ground so we can connect, relate, and resonate. And so once you get to that space, we can now start to ask future pacing questions. See, once again, I'm going to come back to it, right? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And great marketers, great salespeople, great people in this network marketing, affiliate marketing game, what they've learned to master is how to lead and influence people. Anybody ever read the book? I can't remember the author. You might have to drop it in the name. What is it? How to influence people and win friends. I think it's Dale Carnegie. I've read so many books. So coming back here now, right? So now we've met them where they're at. We've gone through the feel, felt, found process. I had someone come to me the other day and they said, "Oh, Jeff, this sounds like one of those Ponzi schemes." Who's ever heard that one? This feels like, oh, it's just a scam. And I didn't defend myself. I asked a question. First off, I said, "I'm curious. What is your definition of a Ponzi scheme?" And they started talking about, oh, it's the person at the top and all the people down the bottom, they keep the thing going and all this sort of thing. And away we go, right? And what they were actually describing to me was not a Ponzi scheme. It was multi-level marketing comp plans. And yes, Ponzi schemes are illegal. Ponzi schemes need someone to be able to keep selling something below them so the money goes up the top and they're replacing it. And basically the, Peter Payne Paul type conversation. Yes, they are illegal. But what this person was describing to me was essentially like two things, right? It was the corporate, structure of a hierarchy: CEO, CMO, CFO, middle management, lower management. And so I went into this conversation not to defend my actions. I went into here genuinely curious to understand what their version of that term Ponzi scheme was. And I asked great questions in this space. Like, I'm curious, what is your definition of a Ponzi scheme? I'm curious, what do you see, do you see anything wrong with the hierarchy of a corporate structure and the way it works? Well, no, Jeff, it's been done for eons. Okay, cool. And so I led them where they need to be. I guided them to where they needed to be to see the vision, to see the future, and see the reality for themselves, not defending by asking great questions. And I went through the whole feel, felt, found process. I totally understand how you feel. 20 years ago, when I first started this game, I felt the same way. But what I found by becoming educated, what I found by opening up and learning to understand by asking really powerful questions, I come to find that there is actually, this is just something that everybody does in every arena. And this is all about team building. And so I lead with vision. And then I ask a question, a very powerful question at the end of that conversation. It was, so at the end of all of that, would you be open to learning how to, become a leader, learning how to influence people, learning how to win for yourself and win for others by educating people, by guiding people, by learning how to ask great questions and learning how to tap in affiliate marketing? I explain the whole affiliate marketing model. Would you be open to exploring that with me? And they've gone, yeah, Jeff, that sounds great. See, sometimes we've just got to slow it down. And we just got to meet people where they're at. In a world that is broken, in a world that is hurting, in a world that has mistrust more than ever, with the rise of AI, it's very hard to believe now what's real on the internet and what's not. Those of us who are attuned, those of us who are in the field every day, we can see the signals, but the everyday person can't. There have been wars fought over less, where, you've got people, mimicking, all of the politicians and world leaders around the world. In the world at the moment, mistrust is higher than ever. So it's our responsibility, it's our opportunity to slow it down, to meet people where they're at, and let's do life with people. Let's stop trying to just sell everybody and pitch everybody. Let's get into a space where we're being of service to the greater good for our economy, for our world, so we can be a player and a facilitator in helping our world to heal. All right, so get off my soapbox there for a second. Let's come back now to, questions, right? So I want to dive in here and I want to wrap up this little bit of a training here and teaching you how to do future pace questions as well. See, it's our job, once again, to circle right back. It's our job to be as leaders, to guide them on the journey, to help them see the outcomes for themselves. So when I'm in this space, I'll also ask great questions around, if this worked the way it's designed to, what would that mean for you? How would your life look different 12 months from now? If this is all going the way that that it says it goes on paper, how different would your life look? See, this positions us in a space of no longer actually really selling. It positions us in a space of being in a space to guide, and as good old genuine fashion customer service. See, we're helping people to visualize the possibility for themselves. And that's all great leaders and great marketers do in this space, is this is a skill. And for me, these skills were developed through repetition. They were developed by learning how to stay on the horse, by getting bucked off 1,000 times. Everything is figure-outable. They were developed by jumping into coaching sessions like this. They were developed by reading books. Right, so leverage the feel, felt, found process. Ask great questions to guide people on the journey to be able to open up and see the future for themselves. Ask clarifying questions to uncover the real objection. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's got you, 0's got you're not excited at all. 10, you're very excited about this. Where are you on this scale? If money was not a hurdle, and this was something that you go all in with, what else is stopping you? Is it the money or is it something else? See, we ask clarifying questions to put ourselves in a position to be a detective, to be a guide on the journey, to lead people. We talked about feel, felt, found, right? See, this is not about manipulation. All of this is about empathy and leadership. And my good friend, Mr. Joshua Phelps, has just shown up. So, Josh, we're just talking about asking great questions. Questions are the answers. Some objection handling tactics here as well. Giving people the frameworks to feel, to feel seen, to feel heard, to people to feel understood, so we can understand them, to help them, to guide them on the journey. Now, I also know that we wanted to talk about our team building strategy. So, Josh, if you're ready, I'd love you to come in here and just talk about our 3x3 strategy here. And help us to leverage the structure, to leverage the system, so we don't have to be the tool and we can use the tools.
Let's go. Let's go. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys are having an absolute amazing time so far just on this training. Everyone, give it up in the chat box for Jeff, sharing as he always does, always bringing the power. And it's so amazing when we have a team like we have here. I want to make sure the chat's on. Guys, if you can hear me loud and clear, put a yes in the chat box. I want to make sure. All right, amazing. Well, everyone, welcome out to this training. I know what Jeff has shared with you so far, even without being here. I was just finishing up a crazy, powerful call, something you guys are going to find out about the next couple of weeks. All I have to say is you better be in Miami, April 24th through the 26th. We're going to absolutely blow your minds and give you the experience of a lifetime. But I want to talk about the importance of the 3x3 strategy with this business. I want everyone to write multiply in the chat box. I want everyone to write down multiply in the chat box. If there's one thing that will absolutely take your life to the next level beyond getting your mind right, it's learning how to multiply your money and multiply your business. And there are fundamental ways that you can do that. And it's very important that you set yourself up on the path where you're truly leveraging and utilizing the power of multiplication. So many people spend their whole life and all they have mastered is addition and subtraction. Put a 1 in the chat box if you're ready to get out of that box. Addition and subtraction. It's time that we get into the world of multiplication, because that's where the power of compounding really begins. So why the 3x3 strategy? Let's be very clear. At the end of the day, if you go down the path of going 2x2, you're going to find yourself, once you get to the rank of prime, you're going to be stuck. Because now you're going to have to come back and you're going to have to build your organization again. I'm going to host another training coming up on Saturday. We're going to have the It's Pro Time Saturday call coming up. I'll make sure that all of you have all of those details. And what you're going to do is you're going to go and drive and tell all of your team that they're needing to be here this Saturday. Why? Because what they're going to get is the keys to unlock their business and to truly maximize the opportunity that's sitting on the table. When it comes to what we're doing here with this business, why is the 3x3 so powerful? Number one, it sets you up that you can maximize the compensation plan. Put yes in the chat box if you want to maximize, not just participate in. It's time that we maximize the money that's sitting on the table, not just participate where there is a ton of money available for you. Now, listen, where you start out at when it comes to your deposit is going to dictate how fast that your money grows from a compounding perspective. But when it comes to your business, I want you to understand we all start on the same playing field. When you get started, you are the captain of your business. I want everyone to put I am in the chat box. All right, I am in the chat box. You are the captain of your business. Now, while you are plugged in to the absolute best team in the entire company, we are breaking records with the speed that we are moving. The thing that's important to understand is this is still a business. This is still your moment to shine. And all you got to do is follow the simple process that I'm about to show you. Now, this Saturday, I'm going to go a lot more in depth in this. And it's going to be a lot like the last Saturday call that we hosted that unfortunately it wasn't recording, but we're going to make sure that coming up this Saturday that it is. So right here, this is you. All right. My drawing is not very beautiful, but building the organization, I'm one of the best at it. But let me show you why. When you get started, what you want to do as fast as possible is get your first 3. I'm not talking about just 3 people that are signed up. Someone put funded in the chat box. Funded. What we want to help you do as fast as possible is get your 3 in and get their accounts funded. If their accounts are not funded, you might as well mark them off from in terms of bringing any momentum to your business. So what we don't want to do is be in a situation that we just go recruit people, but we don't actually help them get on the path of compounding. See, the first step is signing up. The second step is funding your account. The third step is going and helping people do the same thing. Everyone put 1, 2, 3 in the chat box if you understand that. Step number 1, I'll write it out for you. Get started. Step number 2, fund your account. Step number 3, help your people do the same. We have a philosophy here. No one gets left behind. If you get left behind, it's your own deadgum fault. But it's not going to be on the lack of our effort. It's not going to be on the lack of our intention. We are going to show up and we're going to make sure that the team knows, that your people know that we are here to help them win. We have our power hour calls that you can bring people to that they can get funding. If they don't know anything about crypto, we have an amazing team to help them. But ultimately, with our funnel, step by step, what to do, everything is set up in your favor. And someone just put yes in the chat box if you're appreciative that we gave you a free funnel system and you didn't even have to pay for it. All right. This business was set up in your favor. You paid $19.99. You got access to some of the best AI technology in the world when it comes to what's available to the masses. And at this point, why are we going 3 by 3? Very simple. It opens up the door for multiplication. All right. Start doing the math. I need someone to help me in the chat box because I really want to make sure that you guys are plugged in. If you come in and get your 3 people, and then they get their 3 people, how many people are there? If you got your 3, and then those 3 people got 3, how many people are there? I want to see it in the chat box. I need everyone to participate. 12, absolutely perfect. You got your 3, and then each of them got their 3. All right, so now you have 12 people. All right, now you multiply that times 3. Let's do simple math. 3 times 3 is 9, plus your original 3 you had. All right, then those 12 people go and get their 3. All right, what do you have? You have then 36 new people plus the 12 that were there. Now you have 48. Now what's 48 times 3? All right, it's 144 plus 48. Now you're pushing close to 200 people. Guys, I want you to understand multiplication will take you further than addition could ever imagine. Okay, so with that being said, listen, all you need to do, step number 1 is help 2 people go Voyager. First, you go Voyager. Go Voyager. All right, that's 3,000 LV. Okay, that's a total of 7,500 in trading. All right, your first step is to go Voyager. But I think that it's so important that we remember something. The power of duplication. I want everyone to understand this. Right behavior, or better yet, better behavior, will lead to better results. And one of the things that I always ask people, do you want your business to grow the same way that you're building your business? Someone put a 1 in the chat box if you understand. If you're not doing the right things, your team's not going to do the right thing. People are looking for leaders to follow. Josh, how have you made millions of dollars? I have duplicated myself as much as possible. The people that are hungry, the people that will follow, I give them the keys to unlock their freedom. I show them what you need to do. Joseph McClendon says it all the time. I don't teach theory. I teach what I know and what I've experienced. When it comes to business, I'm the same way. I'm not telling you to do something I didn't do. This is how I put 900 people in the business the first couple weeks. If I would not have made this move, I want everyone to put a 2 in the chat box so you understand that you wouldn't be here today. You never know what can come from you taking the right action. So step number 1, you're getting started. Step number 2, your funding account. Step number 3, you help your people do the same. All right. So when it comes to the starting process, it is very clear. Now, at the same time, now that we have moved into the building phase, all right, I'm going to put a B for building. Now we've moved into the building phase. What you need to do now is go Voyager. The question is, what do you do after you go Voyager? Let's go back to step number 3 here. Someone put a 3 in the chat box if you understand. After you go Voyager, your goal is to help your 3 people do what? Do the same. What we are doing is creating and building and replicating proper movement, proper action so you can be best set up for success. As crazy as this drawing looks on the screen, if you do it and you continue to become a master at it, you will find yourself getting to a place that you're going to hit Oracle, you're going to hit Prime, you're going to hit Elite, and you're going to run up to Dominion and all the way through the compensation plan. If you can master this, Oftentimes, I feel like people want this just elite level secret, like there's some magical secret about becoming wealthy. No, you just got to start doing the right things. You got to get the right knowledge, and you have to be in the right environment where you can actually get what you're looking to get. Someone put a 1 in the chat box if you agree that your job has no chance of making you wealthy. Everybody that works a salary, you get paid hourly. Regardless, I need everyone to put a 1 in the chat box if you understand that your job has absolutely no opportunity to make you wealthy. So if we know that, what are we talking to other people about? Doing the simple things that will help you change your whole financial ecosystem, your whole financial situation. So this is what I want everyone to do right now. We're going to wrap up this call right now because for the next 15 minutes, I want everyone to put a 5 in the chat box for me. You're going to commit to calling 5 people. You're going to get on the phone. You're going to message people in their inbox. And what you're going to do is you're going to go bring 5 people. They're going to watch us do the presentation, and they're going to get started with you afterwards. I see 3 people that's put a 5 in the chat box. I'm not taking time out of my day for 3 people to go and commit when we have 30 plus people on the call right now. If you want to win, all you have to do is follow what we are doing because it works like you have never seen before. We're breaking records in the company. Why? Because I know how to build this business. And now I'm giving you the same secrets, but here's the powerful part. You get to leverage us. You don't have to be the master salesperson. You don't have to be the master closer. You don't have to be the crypto expert. You get to show up and you can be completely illiterate. You can know nothing about crypto, and sometimes that's a beautiful story too. Hey, I didn't know anything about crypto, but I plugged into the system, and now my money's growing every day. And because my money's growing every day, I couldn't keep it a secret and not tell you. Someone put a 1 in the chat box if that is an honest, fair, authentic statement. All right? I don't know what's going on with crypto. All I know is my money's growing. I don't have to be the expert. Brian Benson is the expert. I don't have to know it all. The AI knows enough that it's working pretty dead-gum good. This month it's done over, I have 5,000+ in one of the accounts. This month it's done over 14%. Come on, guys. We are sitting on the verge of an absolute transformation financially in your lives. So I want you to get fired up. I want you to get excited because if you're not, nobody wants to join your business. Nobody wants to join some boring shit. Put a 2 in the chat box if you agree with that. Who wants to be around boring people? Who wants to be around people that aren't making money? I don't. It's not life-giving. It's not inspirational. It doesn't even sound exciting. No, I want to be around people that are hungry. I want to be around people that know that they're powerful beyond measure, that they were created by the divine, and they are no longer settling from the confinements of society, the walls and illusions that we have created around ourselves. And now at this point, making sure that you can do everything you want to do in your life, and can't a dead-gum person tell you that you can't. Now, I'm not suggesting anyone to do anything illegal or do anything stupid. I'm talking about when it comes to your life, living your dreams, building the world that you love. We were created in the image of the divine. The same power that walked this world, that created this world, is alive and breathing inside of you right now. And regardless if people don't believe it's there, guess what? Their belief ain't paying you. Someone put I am in the chat box. I need you to hear me. Their lack of belief isn't paying you. Their belief in you isn't paying you. What's paying you is you. I am powerful beyond measure. I am born to be wealthy. I am absolutely packed full of the divine and lack nothing. This is what's going to set your life apart. That's going to make people want to be attracted to you. I walk in places and people are like, man, there's something different about you. I didn't even have to say anything. When the light starts shining within you, people recognize it. Insecure people are intimidated. People that are hungry for something different, they're attracted to it. You are born for success. And this is our moment. You got 13 minutes before the next call. We're going to be back here in 13 minutes. I need you to go get a couple people, and I need you to get them on this call. Don't come back without 3 people real quick. And at least bring 1 or 2 if you can't get 3. All right? Go get your people. We'll be back here in 10 minutes. And in 8 minutes, this call will be back open and this show will be on the road. Actually, this is what we're going to do. We're not even going to close the call. I want you to start calling people right now. I want you to go get them. I'm going to go ahead and throw on some music. And I need you to call people right now. Say, hey, there's a really important call that's about to happen. If you want to grow your money, if you want to change your life, I need you to get on this call right now. I'm going to throw some music on. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Let's go.
All right. We're in the house. We are live. My name is Jeff Ross. For those of you who don't know, yes, I'm an Australian. I'm that fun, crazy Aussie guy from down under here in Tasmania. I'm a proud laptop lifestyle dad here, father of 3 amazing boys, and it's my absolute pleasure to be your host here for today's call. I'm going to bring up my friend Joshua Phelps as our presenter in a second, but I just wanted to say how exciting it is to be here with you all. We're only like almost just over 3 weeks, and we've seen this explode to over 800 plus people in our team. Now, you just imagine here, I just want you to paint the future for the next 3 months. You know, this army that we're building here together of 800 plus people, all go and bring in at least 5 people to come in and join this with us. You can start to see the math and start to see the compounding effect take place. 800 times 4 is, what is that? That's 3,200. You know, 800 times 10, that's what? 8,000 people. This is how quickly this is blowing up. This is the unicorn of 2026. And why is that? Well, I like to think it's because this ticks all the boxes. It's global, it's low resistance, high reward conversation, and it's digital, and it's all about helping to us to leverage one really powerful force of nature, the compounding effect. You know, as you can see here, you know, and just Josh is going to walk you through and unpack it together with you today. You're going to see the lights turn on in people's eyes. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing possibility. I'm seeing hope come alive again for the first time in a long time, because we have a gift in our hands here. And I believe it's an injustice if we keep this blessing, if we keep this gift just for ourselves. So over to you, Josh. I'd love you to unpack this and walk us through on how we can unpack and wrap this gift and then give this to other people as well, to take this army of 800 people to 8,000 people in the next 2 to 3 weeks alone. Over to you, Josh.
Everyone, welcome out to the AI Wealth Secret. I want to take a moment to share with you one of the most powerful things that you could ever know and that you could ever have access to. Mr. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, has said, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Most everybody has figured out a way to make money, but hardly anyone has figured out a way to truly compound their money. And this is the AI wealth secret. If you didn't know this, the banks are using your money right now, using artificial intelligence to their favor to make money work for them. What you're going to have the ability to discover here tonight is a platform that is doing the same thing for the masses. Actually, recently, we had a bank offer $100 million for the technology that you are about to have access to. Today, we're going to be reviewing the platform Aurum. This platform is a fintech AI-based company that is giving the masses access to technology like we have always dreamed of. Before I begin, I do want to give this disclaimer that we are not financial advisors. We are not giving financial advice, and any investment that you make, do your due diligence and make sure to make a responsible decision. What I can tell you wholeheartedly here tonight is what you are about to see is truly the most game-changing thing when it comes to compounding your money and making it work for you. I'll tell you what I like about Mr. Brian Benson. He is the CEO of Aurum Foundation and the person at the helm of the ship who is leading this charge. Mr. Brian Benson has a tremendous an impeccable track record when it comes to what he has done in the financial industry. If you have ever heard of the company Binance, Brian was responsible for building out Binance in all of Latin America. And when Binance went from being a startup company all the way to a billion-dollar company within 6 months, this gentleman was responsible for over 20% of that down in Latin America. Now, after helping Binance become a multi-billion dollar company, he decided to start his own company. And amazingly enough, he still works very closely with Binance. And what you're about to see here tonight, a lot of that is still in relationship with Binance. But one thing that I always suggest is, regardless of what company you're going to, or something you're reviewing, or who owns it, it's always good to go and do your own research. So here on Google, I typed in Brian Benson, Binance, and you can see this gentleman's track record from working for Morgan Stanley, what he did at Binance, and now what he is doing at Aurum Foundation. It truly is amazing. Brian is also recognized by the Forbes Financial Council. I'm not talking about just has had articles written about him. I mean, he speaks on behalf of Forbes concerning blockchain technology and how artificial intelligence is changing the world, and how we have the ability to make sure that we participate in the right way with it. Now, one thing that you will note about Brian, which is something that I appreciate a lot, Brian is not someone that is leading this and hiding out in some country. He's actually a notable figure that speaks on behalf of blockchain as well as artificial intelligence amongst the most elite level people in these industries. Recently, he was in Singapore speaking to over 25,000 people alongside co-founders, CEOs, some of the biggest in the game when it comes to fintech, AI, and cryptocurrency. What I love about what we have is we have multiple different products based off of what you want and what you like when it comes to growing your money. If you have crypto, you can put it away and it can be working anywhere from 17 to 20% a year with our liquidity staking. Or I'm going to show you tonight here in just a few minutes what everybody is the most excited about and why this video was shared with you, or why someone invited you to see what we're doing. Before I share with you the results of this technology, the one that the banks wanted to pay $100 million for, I want you to hear this short word from our CEO, Mr. Brian Benson.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
What I notice here is there are people that desire to do amazing things. And then on top of that, there are people that have already accomplished these things, and now they're making it available for everyone. One of the most remarkable things about this platform is it's $19.99 for the entire year to leverage all of the technology and access within this Aurum platform. This is less than it would cost to have a bank account. All right. It is amazing when you look at what is available for less than $20 a year. What I love about what Brian's doing here is he's made the most affordable platform, and you're going to see here in just a second the results that are absolutely game-changing and life-changing, especially when your money is multiplying for you. Now, this technology, it did not just get started. It's been around since Q1 of 2023, and since its inception, it has done over 538% return. It has not had one losing trading day. It has had not one losing month since it has begun. Do you understand what happens to your money when you stop just adding money, but you can start multiplying it? I want you to see how low that you can get in, as well as you can go up as high as you desire. But what's special about this is you can get in the game even as low as $100. You have the $19.99 for the annual membership, and then you can get started anywhere from $100 to $249. And with that, you're still looking at getting around 10.49% per month. If you get started from $249 to $999, you're looking to make a little bit over 11% per month. At the comfort level, $1,000 to $24.99, you're looking at around 12.124% per month. The optimal $2,500 to $49.99, over 13%. And you can see that it continues to go up based off of how much you have in your account. Now, there's two ways that you can go to the next bracket. You can top up your account and add more money to it. Or as your account grows and compounds, naturally, as it would go, say from $249 to $250, you would go from the basic to the standard. And now you would get an increase every single month based off of what deposit level or now what your liquidity is. Okay, this is extremely powerful. Now, one thing that I do want to make sure is clear. Your principal that you put into the Aurum XA bot, you are subject, if you pull it out before a year, to a 35% early redemption fee. Now, one thing to note, I'm about to show you the results of what it has done annually last year, so you can very much get a clear picture. But on the 1st, 10th, and 20th of every month, you can pull out your money if you desire. Every day you can pull out your profits that you're making, or you can compound them. So every day that it's compounding, it's growing based off of the new accumulated value of what it did the day before. Okay, now look at this and what happened here in 2025. And now can you begin to see how bright 2026 is about to be for you? In January, did over 15%. In February, over 17%. In March, April, over 17%. May, 17%. June, 16%. July, all the way through the end of the year, at least 17% or more. Guys, I'm not talking about just monthly compounded. I'm talking about daily compounding. What we have seen is something that I have never seen as consistent as this, and it is absolutely special what's happening. So I want you to see and pay close attention to two different account sizes. I'm going to show you a $500 account, and then next I'm going to show you a $10,000 account that has been in this platform since April of 2025. All right. On April 17th, we funded a $500 account. From April 17th to September 17th, it went from $500 to over $882. Now, you may be saying, Josh, that doesn't sound like a ton of money. Well, if you think about it, if you have a $500 account that grows to $882, what that means is in that short period of time, that account grew by 76%. That is massive. I want you to go look at your bank account, and I want you to see the interest that they are giving you per year. Oftentimes, it is pennies. It's little to nothing, but the bank's actually using your money, and they are growing their net worth tremendously because of you. That's why the bank appreciates you so much. Now, how about a $10,000 account? On April 10th, loaded up a $10,000 account, okay? I want you to pay close attention to this 1972 right here. Next to the circle where you see the arrow pointing up, I want you to look at the account number, 1972. The account started with $10,000 on April 10th. Now pay close attention. In 5 weeks, from April 10th to May 16th, the account went from $10,000 to $12,360. That's a 23% gain. From April 10th to June 24th, 10 weeks, it went from $10,000 to now $15,000, 55% growth. 12 weeks, 74% growth. That account that was $10,000 in April, now in July, 12 weeks later, is sitting at $17,000. Now, what about August? 16 weeks, 4 full months utilizing the XAI bot. Same account number. I want you to pay close attention. 1972, 1972, 1972, 1972. You'll see that the reinvest button is on because every day the profit that it makes, it reinvests it back into the technology so it continues to compound and grow. In 4 short months, from April 10th to August 10th, the account has officially doubled. It has made over $10,000 in profit, starting with a $10,000 account. Now, I bet you're curious, just like I was, what happened after that? I want you to look at this. On December 10th, 2025, the same account, 1972, went from $10,000 all the way to over $39,000 with a $29,744 plus gain in income. Now, I want you to understand what's happening here. While there is no guarantees of income, and while we cannot make any financial claims, what we have been seeing traditionally and historically is this account has been doubling every 4 months, especially when you have $5,000, $10,000+ in. If you get in the game small, at least get in the game so your money starts working for you. Most people will spend the rest of their life working for money or trying to figure money out because they didn't figure out how to compound their money. And for $19.99 a year, you can have something that the banks thought was worth $100 million. Our platform is on Android right now and very soon coming out on iOS. We have our Neo banking platform that you can watch everything that's happening. There is transparency around every trade. If you want to pull out your profits every single day, you can. I absolutely love what's happening in this platform. There's over 50,000 people currently using this technology and making money every single day for the last 3 years. There is nothing like this in the world when it comes to a way for you to put your money aside and for it to grow rather than it sitting in the bank and it growing for the bank. It's either going to make you money or it's going to make someone else money. You deserve to be the person that is benefiting off of your hard work, the money that you earned, the money that you spent your time in order to accumulate and grow. It's time that you stop letting other people get an advantage based off of your hard work and put your money to work hard for you. Now, there's a second part of this business. Number one, you can just be a customer, which over 65, 70% of the people within the platform, they are just enjoying their money growing for them. But there's something special that this platform has done where you could actually introduce other people to this. And now, rather than just your money compounding for you, you could also help people all across the globe get that same exact experience. And one thing that we believe around here, it makes no sense to be selfish with compound interest the same way the banks have been doing to us for so long. Once you find something that is winning and helping you, it makes sense to let everybody else know so they also can get that same benefit and be on the right track of wealth, not just down the path of making money, but now multiplying your money. I want you to pay attention to this affiliate program because it is extremely powerful. When you get started, everybody starts out as a Nova. You're not paying to be a part of the opportunity. When you pay the $19.99 for the technology, you also get the ability to be a part of the affiliate program, okay? At Nova, whatever you have personally sold, you get someone started, they put in $1,000, you're going to make 3% of every deposit that goes in at a Nova level. You have to have at least $100 contributed personally to the technology, but I want you to see how fast this grows. And whoever shared this with you, they will tell you that our team is breaking records right now with how quickly people are going through the affiliate plan, ranking up, getting paid bonuses, getting paid every single day, not only off of their compounding, but now also off of the business side of this, helping everybody else. When you have $7,500 total in trading volume underneath you. Now, what does underneath you mean? Anybody that you bring in, that they bring in infinite levels deep, that counts towards your volume. So at $7,500 of volume trading underneath you, you now rank up to what is called Voyager. Voyager is where you get a $100 bonus, but now you begin to tap into the next level of wealth here. When you go to Voyager, now you're making 5% every time someone makes a deposit that you personally enroll. But here's where this goes to another level. When you hit Voyager now, you'll see 5% at Voyager and 3% at Nova. There's a 2% difference there. Everybody underneath you that is Nova, you're going to make that additional 2% off of every sale that they make. When you go from being a Voyager and you have $25,000 total trading underneath your team within the technology, now you just got a $500 bonus. You also need to have at least $300 in the XAI bot, but now you went from 5% to now 7%. Your spread has now increased and you're making more every single day. Between the Voyager, you're 2% difference. Between a Nova, now you're making 4% on every deposit they make until they go to the next level. This is powerful. But I want you to look over to the right-hand side. What I didn't mention at Voyager is now not only are you getting paid off the deposits, but every single day you are getting a check match bonus off of the team trading profits. The money that the company makes, they are giving you a 5% matching bonus off of your team. At Vanguard, you're going to go up to 7.5%, and you will see that these numbers continue to grow each level that you go up. Vanguard Pro, you got $62,500 trading underneath you. Now you're making 9% on the deposits. You got to have at least $750 personally contributed. You can also use the bonus money to go in the technology. And then when you hit Vanguard Pro, you got a $1,000 bonus. What you're going to find out here is people are over the moon excited about it because everybody is winning. It's hard to keep this a secret when the person that shared this with you is making money every day. All of us are looking for a way to get to a place of being financially free. And how amazing is it that you can start compounding your money, but on top of that, you can also build an income alongside of it that will pay you out tremendously. In the last 3 weeks, we've had people making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Some people making a couple thousand, some people making several hundred, depending on how much they've shared this with people. This is an absolute blessing, what's on the table. You go to Nexus, you're at 10.5% on the deposits, 12.5% on the matching team bonus from the daily profits. You got a $2,000 bonus from there. Now, I want to take you to the next level. You'll see Oracle here. You'll see Prime. You'll notice several things. The percentage on the direct sales goes up. The extra bonus goes up, as well as the matching check bonuses go up. One thing that I've not shared with you yet, we get paid every single day. You hit the rank, boom, you get the bonus in your account immediately. You make a sale, boom, you get your money in the account immediately. This is not bi-weekly pay. This is not monthly pay. You get paid every single day in USDT. This is absolutely game changing. But now let's take it to the next level. I want you to see in here how the percentage keeps going up, but now I want you to look at the bonus. Going up to Dominion, from Elite to Dominion, that's over $800,000 in bonus income on top of what you're making every single day. We have some people making $500 a day, $1,000 a day. One of the gentlemen recently that just hit Dominion, he's pulling out over $10,000 per day. And he got in one single day a $500,000 bonus. This is absolutely life-changing income. And you may say, I don't know how I'm going to get here, but I'll give you a little secret. All you got to do is start here. And what you're going to find for yourself is how powerful this is, because as soon as you activate your account, every single day you see the profits hitting your account. And it's hard to keep this a secret when you're making money every single day. I want to encourage you to go ahead and click that Get Started button and go ahead and go through the steps in order to get your account started, get your account funded. And you'll also notice that we have multiple power hour calls a day where we support you, we'll help you fund your account, as well as you'll have the ability to invite people to our live calls or also share this opportunity with them. Aurum is on a mission to help the masses begin to experience what Albert Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. I think we all would agree that your life would look better if your money was multiplying for you, not just the bank and you being left out of the equation. Welcome to the Aurum family. We look forward to creating wealth together. Like our CEO said, We're looking to create 1,000 millionaires in the next 12 to 24 months. And I believe that could be you. We'll see you on the inside. Welcome to the team and have a blessed one.